Yeah, last class we have already seen the discrete random variables. All right. So today we will first of all discuss something about discrete random variables. Once again, we can recall a few things, and then we'll move on to your continuous random variables now. Okay. So this is an example which already we have seen in the last class. In this, we have seen the example of tossing of tossing of coin 2 times, but here I have quoted the example of tossing of coin 4 times, and this is by CDF. So this is for the just quick recall. Okay. 1 second. Yeah, some internet connection problem, I guess. 1 second. 1 minute. This is the example I've just taken. So this is the plot of the CDF. Okay. So here in this only the few things I just wanted all of you to just make a note in the paper or pen, book, or wherever you have the option, that I need to discuss few properties of CDF for discrete time. Okay, this part I have not discussed this in the previous class. So the first property which we have in this case is the CDF is represented with a capital F of X. So this is nothing but your capital F of X is equal to summation of all PIs. Okay, we are keep on accumulating the probabilities as you can see here. All right. So this we can also write capital of X less than equal to X. This is also one way, and which is nothing but summation of all PIs. This is the CDF of the discrete type. So the first property is that property on F of X itself. So 0 less than equal to capital F of X should be less than equal to 1. It will be always between 0 and 1. Okay. The second property will be that if we'll approach from minus infinity, the value will be 0. We have seen that. And if the value goes up to infinity, the final value will be always 1. That is the one more property. Okay. Now property number 3, that if x1 is less than x2, okay, so then we can always represent this as f of x1 should be less than or equal to f of x2. We will see some problems based on this. If this condition will not satisfy, then the required PDF is not true, because if you take this as f of x1, that will be less than this one, and this one is less than this one. This will be less than this one. So all this should be less than previous value. Okay, so if this is f1, then f1 should be less than f2, and f2 should be less than f3, f3 should be less than f4, and f4 should be less than f5. So this property should hold. And the fourth property is that if you want to find the probability of any term from the, suppose if CDF is given to you, if this part is only given to you, and you have to find the probability of any event between x1 and x2. Okay, so we can make even less than equal to, doesn't matter. So how we'll calculate this? You have to just simply take f of x2 minus f of x1. I'm not giving you the proof, just I'm writing the properties. So we will see all the properties in the problem itself. All right. And one more property we have, I will just write it down here, that probability of x greater than x1, if you want to find, that will be nothing but 1 minus f of x1, capital F of x1. This is the property number 5. So just make a note of these properties of CDF. I have not told this in the previous class. Okay. So 1 second. All right. So I will just rub the remaining part which is not required. Fine. So these are the properties. Just remember that way. Okay. So let's move on to the next slide. So a shipment contains laptop computers to a retail outlet contains 3 that are defective. Okay. All right. If a school makes a random purchase of 2 of these of computers, find the probability distribution for number of defective. So here, first thing you have to note down that is out of 20 laptops, out of 20 purchase, 3 are found to be defective. Okay. So one thing is sure that out of 20, 3 are defective. So 17 computers are non-defective, and 2 are chosen at random. So two computer chosen at random. Okay, chosen at random. Okay, out of 20, so this can be done in 20 C2 ways. 20 C2 ways. So we have to find the probability distribution. It means you have to find the PMF. So probability distribution means the PMF. So let us write the PMF. So what is the random variable X? X will be the random variable associated with defective computer. Associated with defective computers. Okay, so what is the range of X it will take? X can take the value either 0 defective may be there, 1 defective, or maximum 2 defective. Okay, so there are 3 defective cases. Now what is the required probability? We have to find out. Okay, so how you will find the probability? So when there is no defective, but you are choosing 2 computers at a time. So how many ways you can do that? So can you tell me? No, this is means no defective. This is no defect, no defective. This is 1 defective, and this is 2 defective. So this can be, there is no defective at all. So means 3C0. There is no defective. So you have no other option. You have to choose 2 computers from non-defective out of 20C2. That is the probability. Now in this case, 1 defective is there. So 1 defective we have taken, but 2 computers should be there because 2 has chosen random. So one more option is only from non-defective divided by 20C2. 20C2 is the total outcome. Okay, and then you have 2 defective. So 2 defective you have chosen already. So then you are left out with no option. Then this will be 20C2. So if I just quickly expand this, so what is the value I will get here? Okay, here I will get 68 by 95. You can just calculate and check later. Okay, here I have some 51 divided by 190. In decimals you can check it later, and this you will get 3 divided by 190. So this is the required probability distribution. Required probability mass function we can say, or probability distribution, anything. So any doubt in this? So we are choosing the 2 computers. 2, so you can see in all the outcomes we have 2. Here also we have 2. Here also, and here also. So the number of defective that X can take, range 0 defective, 1 defective, and 2 defective. So simple procedure. I've already given the explanation that you can check it out. Okay. Now, this example I have taken from GATE 2017. This question was asked. Okay. I have added one extra term here that f of 2 is equal to 3 by 8. We have to find. This question very confusing, but it is not that confusing. We will see how it will work. Just read the problem. statement is important. If a car agency sells 50% of its inventory of a certain foreign car equipped with side airbags, okay, 50% of its inventory of certain foreign car, I don't know the brand of the car, is equipped with side airbags. Find a formula of PDF, probability distribution, whenever the word comes probability distribution, this is nothing but your PMF, probability mass function. Don't get confused. Okay. Okay. So find the formula of PMF of the number of cars with side airbags among the next 4 cars sold by the agency. All right. And find the cumulative distribution of random variable X. And then we have to verify something that we will see later. So first, to understand the statement here carefully. A car agency has sell 50% of its car which equipped with airbag. Means remaining 50% of the car is does not having side airbag. That is confirmed. So 50% they have airbag. So remaining 50% of the car will not having it will not contain any airbag. So they want to know the formula of PDF, okay, for which the next 4 car which they will going to sell, okay, the next 4 car which they will going to sell should have a side airbag. So how to answer this question? So to answer this question, I have already written some sample spaces. N represent no airbag and B represent airbag. So I have written N and P. So you can see that we have 4 car has to be sold. So I have taken 1, 2, 3, and 4 outcomes in this case. So no bag, then either you will get no airbag or you will get an airbag. So like that, all the tree I have drawn and the corresponding sample spaces I have written here. Now you can see how many sample spaces we have. Start from N, then N, B, like that. All the sample spaces I have written here. So if you count it, we have total 16 sample spaces. Okay, so I have done this problem in a very simple manner so that you can understand this. But if you take the answer from the GATE textbook, they have taken, because it is 50%, they have directly taken this as 0.5 power 4. So there also you will get 1 by 16. So once you will get 1 by 16, it's a shortcut formula that you will be having 16 outcomes. Like that they will mention. But anyway, we will not go in that detail. We'll go in a simple procedure only. So if X is the random variable of selling X model, because we don't know the number of model, which model will have airbag. So we have taken that as X model. Okay. So the ranges of X you see here. There is no airbag. In this case, you have 1 airbag. Here also you have 1 airbag. Here you have 2 airbag, like that. All the samples, random variable possible outcome which you will take, I have written here. So you can see the range. Range start from 0 to 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the ranges of X. So what are the ranges of X? I have taken 0. I have highlighted here. So 1 N, B, NNBB, and BB. This is the only possible ranges it will take. All right. So now we have got the ranges of X. So how many ways X model can be sold? Next 4 car. How many ways the next 4 car of X model can be sold? That can be sold in 4CX ways. Okay. So the probability function will become 4CX divided by the total outcome, which is 16, where X is ranging from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what you have to do from this, you have to find P of 0. So P of 0 becomes 4C0 by 16. So this will become 1 by 16. Then you have to calculate P of 1. So you will get 4C1 by 16. So what is 4C1 of 16? 4 by 16, like that. All the values we will calculate. So I've already calculated the values in this case. Let us see. So P0 is 1 by 16, P1 is 4 by 16, P2 is 6 by 16, like that. All the values I have written here. Okay. So now we have got the probability distribution. So you can draw the table of probability distribution of X from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and the corresponding probabilities. We have got it here. So this is the probability distribution we are talking about. But they are asking us to find the cumulative distribution. So how you will find the cumulative distribution? Simple. Cumulative distribution will start from capital F of X, right? So always it will start from 0. The range of X is from 0. So the value of probability will be 0 when X is less than 0. Next value is 1 by 16. Between what? 0 and 1. So 0 less than X less than 1. Next will be 4 plus 1, 5 by 16. Between 1 less than X less than 2. Between 1 and 2. Next will be how much? 6 plus 4, 10 plus 11. Next will be 11 by 16. Between 2 less than X less than 3. Next will be 1 by 16, 5 by 16, 11 by 16, then 15 by 16. So 15 by 16 is between 3 less than X less than 4, and then the final value is always 1 when X is greater than equal to 4. This is the probability distribution, we will get it. So this is the probability distribution I have written here. You can see this is a plot which I have showed you in the first class of the probabilities. This is the probability histogram. Okay. This is the bar plot I have taken. This is the histogram. And this is the plot of CDF. Okay. So now you can see all the differences here. Now one question I have written here. Verify that f of 2. This is actually not f of 2. This is p of 2 actually. Because some textbooks they will write it as f of 2. This is p of 2. So you can see here p of 2 is already 3 by 8, 6 by 16 or 3 by 8. All right. Okay. So let us go to the next part. See this example. If X is the random variable with range X 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and P of X is given here, you have to just check whether P of X is a probability function or not. You have to check whether this given P of X is probability function or not. So you can see if you just start putting the value f of 1, you are getting negative value. And we know that P of X should be greater than equal to 0 and summation of P of X should be equal to 1. These two conditions has to satisfy. So first condition itself, it is failing. So it means the P of X which whatever they have given is not a PDF. This is not a probability distribution. Now, what about second one? Check the second problem. For what value of k, P of X is equal to something they have given here. This is a P of X they have mentioned. Can serve as the value of probability distribution. For what value of k? I have written here, but how does it possible? We can say that k should be between 0 and 1. The best thing is that I will take some random value of k. I will start from k minus 1. I will take k is equal to 0. I will take k is equal to half also. And just randomly I'm checking, and then I will take k is equal to 1. And I will calculate xp of x. I will calculate xp of x, xp of x. I will not calculate all, I'll just check whether the range is correct or not. So if you take k is equal to minus 1 and substitute here, what this will become? This will become 1 minus of minus 1 into k power x. So k is nothing but minus 1 power x. So 1 minus of minus 1 become 2. So 2 into minus 1 power x, it will become for k equal to minus 1. Now you take 0, 1, any two value you take. Put x equal to 0 in this case. So when you put x equal to 0, the value you will get is 2. Okay, no problem. When you put x equal to 1, you will get minus 2. So now you can see that your p of x value is getting negative. So k equal to minus 1 cannot be possible, because p of x should be always greater than or equal to 0, either 0 or positive. So k equal to minus 1 range is not possible. Now you take k is equal to 0. So when you take k is equal to 0, what is the value you will get here? Okay, when you take k is equal to 0, you will get 1 minus 0 into 0 power x. So if you take 0 and 1, if you take x value as 0, 0 power of 0, I don't know, not defined. Or you take 1, so 0 power of 1, you will get, again not defined. So I'm not getting any particular value, it is under debate. 0 power 0, I cannot write 1, it is indeterminate form. So even k is equal to 0 is also not giving me any particular value. So 0 also does not come in the range. What about x equal to p of x? When you take x equal to half, when you take x equal to half, the value becomes 1 minus 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 power x. So this will be 2 minus 1. So 2 minus 1, so this will be half into half power x. So you can see, you take any value of 0, 1, 2, you will get positive values only. If you want, you can check. You take x equal to 0, you will get 1 by 2, positive. You take x equal to 1, you will get 1. So this range is true. This range is true. What about k is equal to 1? When you take k is equal to 1, you will get 1 minus 1 into 1 power x. You will get 0, right? And 0 is also possible because it is less than equal to 0. So even this range is also true. So that is why I have written here. I have not put less than equal to. Please make sure. K should be strictly between 0 and 1. 0 also it is not giving me. After 0, any value you take, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, it will hold good. So p of x will be greater than equal to 0 whenever k is in this range. So that is the value of k. So one condition is satisfied, that p of x is greater than equal to 0 whenever your k value is between 1 and 0. So this value we have got. Another condition we have to check, whether summation of p of x we are getting 1 or not. Let us check quickly. The summation of p of x means what? Summation of 1 minus k into k power of x, we should get 1, and x should be from 0 to infinity or 0 to n, whatever you can say. 1 minus k you can bring it outside. You have remained with k power of x, where x is from 0 to n. So this will become 1 minus k. This is the geometric series. If you keep on change the value, you will get 1 plus, you will get 1 plus k plus k square plus k cube and so on. So this is the geometric expansion of 1 by 1 minus k. This is the geometric series. Infinite geometric series. Okay, so this will become 1 by 1 minus k. So yes, when it cancels out, this is equals to 1. So both the condition is satisfying only for the range 0 to 1. So so what we have to say that the given p of x is a PDF between k 0 to 1. That is the condition here. Apart from these values, this p of x is not a PDF. Okay, so you can see here p of x is is a probability density function whenever it is less than equal to 1. So this problem also I have taken from the gate itself. Okay, so let us take the next part. Very simple problem. For each of the following, whether the given value can serve as the value of a probability function. You have to check for the CDF whether this is a valid CDF or not. Let us check for A. Can you tell me whether A is a CDF or not? F of 1 is less than f of 2, f of 2 is less than f of 3, f of 3 is less than f of 4. First condition is satisfying. All f of A is less than equal to f of B. This is okay. But the f of 4 value is not equal to 1. It is 1.2. So this is no. This is not a CDF. Because whenever f tends to infinity, the infinite value is always 1. It has to converge to 1. So this is 1.2. So that is why it is not a PDF. What about B? F of 1 is greater than f of 2. So even this is also not a CDF. I am applying the property. Here f of 1 is greater than f of 3. But it should be what? Less than. If you remember the property, I have given the property, no? That f of 1 should be less than equal to f of 2. And that should be less than equal to f of 3 and so on. But it is reverse case in this case. So this is also not a CDF. Even though last value is 1, but this condition is not satisfying. First condition is not satisfying, so it is not a CDF. What about C? F of 1 is less than f of 2, f of 2 is less than f of 3, f of 3 is less than f of 4. Yes, condition is satisfying. And the last value of f of 4 is also 1. So this is yes, it is a CDF. So this is not a CDF, this is not a CDF, this is a CDF. Quick check. I have given the answer. Now I want you, all of you, to answer me this question. CDF is given to you. You have to find the probabilities. One line answer. Quickly do it and tell me the answer. I'll give you 2 minutes time. Okay, so let us not waste too much time. This value always give you P of x1. Okay, this value, the distance of this will give you P of x2. The distance of this value will give you P of x3, and distance of this value will give you P of x4. So I will first calculate the probabilities in this case now. So P of x1 is nothing but your P of x is equal to -1. I'm talking about -1. So what is the value? 1 by 4. You can see the value jump is 1 by 4. So there is nothing much you can do. This is 1 by 4. What is P of x2? Nothing but P of x is equal to 1. So distance of this one. So how will you calculate now? So this distance, this minus this you have to do. So 1 by 2 minus 1 by 4. How much? This is also 1 by 4. Now what is probability of x3? Which is nothing but probability of x is equal to 3. So probability of x equal to 3 means this minus this you have to do. So 3 by 4 minus 1 by 2 you have to do. So this will be 3 by 4 minus half. So this is also 1 by 4. What about P of x4? So P of x4 is nothing but P of x is equal to 5. So P of x is equal to 5 means this will be 1 minus 3 by 4. So this is also 1 by 4. Okay. So what is the value of probability of x less than equals to 3? So probability of x less than equal to 3 means 3 plus 1 and minus 1 also includes. So 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4. So this will be 3 by 4. So this answer is correct. What about probability of x is equal to 3? X is equal to 3, already we have the value 1 by 4. So that will be 1 by 4. So whoever told me this answer is wrong. This is 1 by 4. Next, probability of x less than 3. What is the probability of x less than 3? 1 and minus 1. So 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4. That will be 2 by 4, which is nothing but half. And the last one is probability of minus 0.4 x less than 4. So minus 0.4 to x less than 4 means minus 0.4 will be somewhere here. So if you see the value, the value of minus 0.4 is nothing but 1 by 4 only. Okay, because the value is still 1 by 4 up to here. And less than 4. So less than 4 means which value you will take? Less than 5. So 5 is 1, so less than 5 means the value will be at 3 by 4. So you have to take 3 by 4 minus of 1 by 4 in this case. So I am applying the property f of x2 minus f of x1. I am applying the property in this case. So f of x2 will be 3 by 4 in this case, because at 5 the value is 1, so less than 5 will be 4. The value will be at this line, whatever the value will be. So that will be 3 by 4. So that will be 3 by 4 minus 0.4. So minus 0.4 will be on this line. So that the value is 1 by 4. So when you subtract this one, you will get the value as half. Alright. Okay. Even from the graph also you can tell the answer same way. So probability of x less than equal to 3 will be 3 by 4, because this value lies in this case. So this will be 3 by 4. X equal to 3 will be 1 by 4. Okay. In this x equal to 3. X equal to 3 means this minus this. So value will lie in between this. So if you calculate, you will get 1 by 4. Less than 3 will be half. So less than 3 is already half. So between minus 0.4 to x less than 4. So 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4 you have to do. Because x minus 0.4 lies in this range and x less than 4 lies in this range. So 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4 I have done. This is also one way of doing it. However, you are comfortable, you can do it. Not a problem. Okay. Sorry about that. So the values are given, you can just take it up. The probability density function is given now. Draw the graph and find the total area under this. So graph is very simple. You can see that between 2 and 7, value is 1 by 5. So between 2 and 7, the value is exactly 1 by 5. Rest all the values is 0. So you have to check whether this area under the curve is exactly 1 or not. So to do that, what you have to do? This is actually comes under the continuous category. So before I start this problem, I have to tell you what is continuous probability distribution. So I will tell you here itself. Continuous probability density function. What is the continuous probability distribution? If x is the random variable defined for continuous, then the PDF is denoted with f of x that should be greater than equal to 0, and integration of minus infinity to positive infinity, f of x should be equal to 1. If this condition satisfied, then we can say f of x is PDF. In discrete category, we had a p of x. In this case, we are presenting with f of x. In discrete category, we have p of x greater than equal to 0 and summation of p of x should be 1. This was the condition for discrete. If these two satisfy, then we call that as PMF. So PMF we call it as discrete, but PDF we will call it in continuous category. So in place of summation, now you have integration in this case. That is the only change now. So now let us check whether this gives me the value or not. So now from minus infinity to positive infinity, the range is given from 2 to 7. So when you put the integral here 2 to 7 and integrate, you will get the exactly value as 1. So that means the area under the curve is 1. Now can you tell me the value of this part? So range is given between 3 to 5. So you have to simply do what? Range take 3 to 5. This will be f of x dx. I forgot to write dx here. Okay. So when you integrate this, you will get 3 to 5. What is f of x given? 1 by 5. So this will be 1 by 5 times dx. So 1 by 5 will come out. This will be x between 3 to 5. So value will be 1 by 5 into. So 2 by 5 is the probability of this. Okay. So I have written the value. This is also similar way. X is a discrete random variable. P of x is given in this manner. Show that whether P of x is probability function or not. So to check whether it is a probability function or not, both the condition you have to check whether P of x is greater than equal to 0 or not, and the summation of P of x should be 1. If these two satisfy, then only you can say that is a PMF or probability function. Anything. So to do that, I have to define the probability density function for this. So see here. What is the P of x given? X by 15 between 1 to 5. So the value will be between 1 to 5. Put the value of x 1 by 15 you will get from here. 2 by 15, 3 by 15, 5, 4 by 15, and 5 by 15. From 6, 7, 8 onwards, because whenever it's x greater than 5, the value is given 0. So I have put 0. So you can check, you can see that all the p of x is greater than or equal to 0. And when you add all these things, you are getting 1. So yes, this p of x is probability function. First condition is done. What is the a value now? Probability of x equal to 1 or 2. It means or means plus. So x equal to 1 plus x equal to 2. So x equal to 1 is 1 by 15 and x equal to 2 is 2 by 15. So when you calculate, you will get 1 by 15. But what about b term? If you just look at the b term, this look like a. This is a. This is given b. So this is a given b. So how you write a given b? Probability of a intersection b divided by probability of b. This is by the conditional probability we have. Correct? By conditional probability. We have seen this in previous sessions. So then what will happen now? So this whole term will come divided by this term will come. So the probability of half less than x less than 5 given 5 by 2. I'm sorry. This will be 5 by 2 given x greater than 1 can be written as probability of, so x greater than 1 by 2 and less than 5 by 2. What you will take in this case? X is greater than half but less than 5 by 2 means 0.5 less than x less than 2.5. It is something like this. It's a discrete category. Decimals will not come. So whenever x is greater than 0.5 means it will directly jump to 1. So I will write here x is equal to 1, or whenever the x value is less than 2.5, it will definitely going to jump to at 2 because it's a discrete category. This is the only possible value it will take, and whole divided by probability of b means probability of x greater than 1 it will take. I have forgot to put intersection. Intersection of b. Intersection of b is also probability of x greater than. So now you can see this is a intersection b divided by probability of b. Okay, anyway. Denominator is fine. Probability of x greater than 1. What you will get in numerator? We have something intersection something. So probability of x greater than 1 means what? After 1, all the values it will take. 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. All the values it will take. And here you have x equal to 1 or 2. So when you take the intersection of these two, which number is common? 2 is common. So in the numerator becomes only x equals to 2 because it is intersection. And denominator you have probability of x greater than 1. So either you take all the sum or you can also write this as 1 minus of probability x. What you can write? X greater than 1 can be written as 1 minus probability of x less than equal to 1. So probability of x equal to 2, you have the value which is 2 by 15 divided by 1 minus x less than equal to 1. So 1 by 15 only you will get it. 1 by 15. So you calculate this, you will get 2 by 15 into 15 by 14. So 15, 15 get cancels out. 1 and 7. So the value is 1 by 7. Any confusion here? If any confusion, please let me know. don't get confused how we have got p of x greater than probability of x equal to 2. It is x equal to 1 or 2. So when you have x equals to 1 or 2, intersection of all the value of x equal to 2, 3, 4 and so on. So the 2 value only was common. So that is why I have taken in this case x equals to 2. All right. So the solution I have just given in this case, you can just quickly look at this. This is the last problem. You try this out. P of x I have already given. So first check whether it's a probability function or not. So you have to find the value of k. So how you will find the value of k in this case? This condition has to satisfy. This condition has to satisfy. So this condition will satisfy only when your k also is greater than or equal to 0. That is for true. Okay, so I'm assuming that k is greater than or equal to 0. So I will use this formula to calculate k value. So what I've done here is now k plus 2k plus 3k up to nk. Here I've taken is equal to 1. So when you take k common, you will get 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n is equal to 1. So what is the expansion of 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n? That will be n into, see, if it is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to n, the expansion will be n into n plus 1 by 2. What about 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus so on up to n square? What is this expansion? N into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 whole divided by 6. What about 1 cube, 2 cube, 3 cube and so on up to n cube? This expansion will be 2n plus 1 whole power square by 3. This 3 expansion we are using here. So you can see that for the first I have used this expansion. So I substituted. So I will get k value is equal to 2 divided by n into n plus 1. So for whatever the n it will take, your k value will be always greater than or equal to 0, or we can say positive. So this condition also holds good. So next you have to find the mean. So what is the mean formula? Summation of x into p of x. So x into p of x. So 1 into k. So I have taken here 1 into k plus 2 into 2 is 4k plus 3 into 3k is 9k up to n into n square k. So if you take k common, you will get the expansion of 1 square plus 2 square, which is nothing but n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6 that I substituted here. K value already you know. Simplify that, you will get mean value 2n plus 1 by 3. So similarly variance also you can find. So variance formula already I have told you, x square into p of x minus of mean square. So when you do that, in this case you will get the formula of 1 cube plus 3 cube plus so on. So when you take x square into p of x, so 1 square into k. So what will you get? You will get k. Okay. So you will get k plus x square into p of x. So x square, 2 square into 2, become 2 cube into k. Then you will get 3 cube into k and so on up to n cube into k. So when you take k common, you will get 1 cube plus 2 cube plus 3 cube and so on up to n cube. So this expansion already I have told you. K value you already know. So k value is nothing but 2 divided by n into n plus 1. And this expansion formula is 2n plus 1 whole square divided by 3. You can expand this a plus b whole square, all right, or you can multiply this inside and simplify this. You will get the required variance. I'm not calculating this. This value you will get it. That's it. So today also I have discussed about the discrete. So discrete is completely done now with the examples. Tomorrow class I will finish your continuous random variable. So already you know what is continuous random variable. Okay, so density function also I have told you today that these two conditions has to satisfy. In discrete we will always write p of x, and in continuous we will write this write as small f of x. This is the only change. Here you will get integration, here you will get summation. This is the only change. So this is from this I will continue tomorrow. I will start this tomorrow. Okay. So PDF I'll start tomorrow. If any students have any doubt,